Hello and welcome back to the Fixing Football podcast. Me, Martin Naylor, and we've got Liam O'Meara's back this week, and also Luke Foley. Liam, do you want to fill us in on your travels to Germany and your experience in German football?
Oh yeah, that seems like ages ago now.
Yeah.
Obviously, I couldn't do the podcast last week because I was feeling horrific. After
You can say hungover. That's fine.
To be fair, I was hungover. So. Yeah, it was a brilliant experience, actually. And I know everyone always sort of says, don't they, like, oh, German football, go and watch it, it's better than watching football in England. And I must admit, I kind of, like, shrug my shoulders and think, whatever, when they say that. But, like, the experience in general was unbelievable. So I'm watching Hamburg versus Osnabrück in the Bundesliga 2. Hamburg, who are third in league, versus Osnabrück, who are bottom. But just, obviously, the whole experience, so like, the trains are free with a match ticket. Like, that's real. That's not made up.
That's cool.
So, like, that makes away attendances massive. So there was thousands of Osnabrück. I mean, the stadium holds around 60,000, and it was sold out. And I'd say about a quarter of that was Osnabrück, but it's 120 miles away, and it's free travel. So why would they not go? And the ticket itself was €30. So, like, I mean,
do you reckon they do that because it's obviously Germany's bigger, so there's a lot more distance to cover, and it's just to help people get out there as well.
I mean, I don't know who owns the German railways, but I would assume that the state owned if they're doing things like that. Yeah. And I imagine it's a vote winner. Something that working people. People work hard all week. Enjoy your weekends. Very German philosophy, isn't it? So, I think it's more that, to be honest. If I was guessing, I don't know who owns German Rail, but one thing I've really noticed is, obviously, I got off at the train station. It's quite a walk then to the ground. It felt like people wanted me to go and watch football. And anyone who goes watching football, particularly when you're an away fan, like, you feel as if you're an enemy in enemy territory. The police are all over you. You can only go in certain bars, or you have to show your ticket. Like, I was literally walking past fan parks, and they're like, "Do you want to buy a beer?" Like, and then, like, I'm stood there, like, talking to, like, Hamburg fans while I'm ordering a drink at the bar, maybe getting a sausage, and I've still got like half an hour walk, but I'll stop at the next fan park on the way down and get another beer. Like,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
because I've watched football in places where I've been a million times. Like, I've been to Blackpool away, and I've been to Blackpool a million times. But then when you go as an away fan, just randomly, it's like, oh shit, I'm behind enemy lines here.
Yeah, that is honestly how it feels. But then I got into the ground, unbelievable stadium, by the way, huge, like, bowl stadium, and I was in the neutral zone, which essentially was full of pissed up tourists like me and away fans. It was just brilliant. Brilliant game. Last minute winner. Penalty for Osnabrück, who won away from home. The third win all season. So the game itself was actually good. Quality of football wasn't brilliant, if I'm being honest. Which is something that gets levelled at the Bundesliga quite a lot. And obviously this is second division, so I'd bear that in mind. But I was sat there thinking, would Bolton beat both these teams? And I think they probably would. Like, I think League One would be better than their Championship, if you will. So quality football wasn't great, but who cares? The whole thing was good.
That's good. Luke, how was your week, or 2 weeks have been since you was last here?
Before we move on, Liam, you can never ever call me a hipster ever again.
Yeah, it's a big hipster move, that what he's just done. It is.
Chad, what's that meme you keep sending with the woolly hat and Tomori?
Well, that's you saying, "Oh, England should pick Tomori." Like, never watched him once, have you? Like, we'll get into that next week when you start pulling out, like, "Oh, England should get that Mrs. Gibbons from Dortmund. He's an up and comer," or that young lad at Juventus. When you start googling all these players abroad, we'll get onto that next week. But
that's the lad called at Sporting. Is it Marcus Edwards?
Marcus Edwards, yeah.
That's one of Luke's. That's a pick of Luke's. Yeah, so next week we're going to do England special. I'm going to pick our all of our 23s and maybe predict what Southgate's going to pick, because I don't think any of them will be what actually gets picked. We maybe should do like a competition. Whoever gets the closest out of the 4 of us.
Well, no, because my team will be so far from Southgate's team. I know you're a big Southgate guy, Martin, so that'll just suit you to the ground. But
number one fan.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I think we collectively guess Southgate's team. I think it's a good way to do it, isn't it? If we all guess Southgate's together.
I think we should do our own.
Yeah, we do our own, and at the end we'll guess Southgate's. I reckon.
Yeah, like I just said, that was a good idea.
Or an FC.
So, Luke, let's get on to you. We're going to have a bit of a mess week this week. No real plan. How has your week been? As
in football-wise, or as in lifestyle-wise?
Wherever you want to go at it, mate.
Well, weekend I had first real kind of race in my race calendar, so I missed the United game. I did all right, to be honest. I just need to improve my downhill running, but yeah, it's a good marker to see where I'm at fitness-wise. I think I came 5th overall. But so, like I said, I missed the United game, so I had to catch up on it on a match of the day. The only 2 really matches I watched this weekend were kind of the big ones, which was U-Men and City and Liverpool.
I missed Arsenal because I was in Paris this week. Yeah, I know, Liam. I know you can shake your head. I always makes for great audio content when you flap around in the background. But I was in Paris and I had it all planned out. Sports bar. Baby was about to go to bed, and everywhere I went there was frigging rugby on. Stupid Six Nations shite. So I couldn't watch it. I ended up watching the highlights when I got home on Sunday, and just caught up with the commentary on my phone. So very happy with that result. But Luke, let's stick with Man United for a minute. What's the big news about the stadium? Looks like, is the big news? First I heard that they wanted to move to the new site, and then next thing is that they want to stay at Old Trafford, and they brought Gary Neville in as a consultant of all people because he's not got enough jobs.
I heard that they're bringing like Lord Cohen to it. They're like putting to do a full committee with Andy Burnham part of it as well. It's like a full kind of I don't know. Meeting of the Avengers, Manchester Avengers.
Manchester Avengers. What's your preference? Brand new site? Because I mean, the site that they're proposing is basically on the car park of Old Trafford. Anyway, it's not.
Yeah.
So, what would you prefer? Brand new one, keep Old Trafford as it is, and just deal with it for 5 years, or however long it takes, or just renovate Old Trafford?
I think the major problem with Old Trafford, and it's always been the case, is it's the train line on the other side. Is it east or west? Can't remember which one it is, but they can't really build over it. So that's kind of caused the major problems in the past and probably in the future. So I think they're probably looking at it now saying, look, let's just move 20 hours and put it in the car park. Now, I'm kind of against that because Old Trafford's iconic, I suppose.
You could literally take the pitch, just dig around it, and move it. I don't know why you can't. I don't know what the big deal is. It doesn't really matter if you're staying on the site. It's not like you're moving to the other side of town or anything.
Well, I think and this is where you two slagged me off for mentioning this.
One of the places we slag you off.
I think about the government kind of funding and making it a national stadium in the north. You two was definitely against that, but yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't want kind of England matches up here.
I do want that, but why should Man United get the money?
Yeah, why not give it to a successful team like City?
City won't exist in next year anyway, so what's the point? On a
serious note, I'm not against the idea of public money being put into it, but what I'm against is the idea of Man United just turn and go, oh, well, we should get it. As opposed, like, Britain's richest man all of a sudden is like, who should pay for it? The taxpayer. They should pay for it. Like, so, no.
I hate the entitlement that Man United deserve this because they were really successful under Sir Alex Ferguson.
Yeah.
That they are entitled to all the glory of football and they should be held in the highest regard, like there's some monarchy of football. So fuck off. You're done. You can have your time again when it's your time again. What? Why do Man United deserve it, Luke? Because we're Man United. Is that your only answer?
Are we not one of the biggest clubs in the world?
Yeah, yeah. Slowly.
So why do you need a stadium built for you then? Like that argument is counterintuitive. We're massive, yet can you pay for our new stadium, please, Mr. Taxpayer? Like,
they're not going to pay for all of it, Anna. I think they're just
going to pay for any of it. Fuck off, you scrubbers. No, build your own stadium.
Like I said, Andy Burnham's involved.
Oh well, Andy Burnham. Oh, the big guns.
What's he called?
Where's Gene Ev? Is Gene Ev got involved as well? And Eamon Holmes, is he in as well?
I told you, all the top Reds.
Mick Hucknall.
James Nesbitt.
Anyone who's been on,
Ollie is wondering. He's wormed his way in there.
Any of the Soccer AM, like the guests that they had on rotation. There was always a United fan, 4 or 5 times a year, some idiot celebrity like that. So, you know what? In fact, Luke, do you want to talk about Man United's performances, or do you want to just move on to something fun?
I didn't get the double penalty takers, the Rashford and the Bruno.
Yeah, what's that all about?
I don't know. I don't get it. Are they giving Rashford a bit of confidence? Because if I was Rashford, it's like a petty. Go on, Rashford, score. I'd hate that.
It's pissing me off. This whole Rashford. Again, he's like the embodiment of this Man United entitlement. Like, especially with them statements that come out before the Manchester derby the other week that basically I'm at Man United and I've shown him my loyalty. It's like, yeah, because they paid him 350 grand a week. I'd be loyal as shit for that.
Can I also pull you up on something you just said there? I would hate that. The amount of times 3 or 4-0 up when we win a penalty and I'm there holding the ball and you come and try and take it off because we were already winning 3 or 4-0 was unbelievable. You never wanted them at 1-0 down. But as soon as the 3-4-0, Luke's like, oh, come on, let me have this one. I won the penalty. Like, no, do one. I'm the penalty taker. He did that every time.
Well, talking about penalty takers in this group, there's one really bad one who thinks he's excellent at it.
You're talking about me?
Well, I'm talking about me and I'm not talking about Liam. So that leaves one of you.
I think I missed one in my whole playing career.
I think it was more than one.
Definitely.
Penalty shootouts don't count.
They definitely do. They definitely do.
I scored them when they counted. But no one else is there to back me up. So well, you two just with your lies and accusations. I've got a little game.
I seem to remember you not wanting to take penalties as well.
What? Liam, come on. You can't be saying this out in the public domain.
Look, it's all right.
It's not all right for you to lie, though. There's people's reputation at stake here.
Just before you move on, Naylor, I know you asked in the group as well. Did anyone watch? Sorry, Martin.
There's only one Naylor today.
There's only one Naylor tonight.
It doesn't matter.
Only you. I know you asked about the Ollie on what's the podcast? What's the YouTube video?
Yeah, that's just referencing our WhatsApp group, Luke. I didn't really ask it in person just now, so you crack on with whatever conversation you want to address because you don't answer. I asked you a question in our WhatsApp group and you just answer it here.
I've also got a lot of time, Luke, for you just coming on our podcast, just talking about other podcasts and plugging them for a really good use of my time. You should listen to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer on this.
So the overlap, I think it's called. Anyway,
I think it's called.
Subscribe. You subscribe to the overlap, Luke.
Number one fan. Did you hear the comments Ollie said about some of the United players don't turn down being the captain for some of the games?
Yeah. Yeah, what did you think of that?
Horrendous. And I think some of the players are still there.
Of course they are.
Name them, Luke. Who do you think it is, Luke? Name them.
I think we mentioned one of them before.
No, say his name, Luke.
Say it.
I think Rashford did it.
Oh.
Yeah. He's a massive pussy. I can't stand him now. He's gone from being this really good like leading light in English football. He's doing great stuff off the pitch. He's starting to, find great form last season, and it's just shit the bed. The guy's an absolute waste man. You need rid as soon as his mood stinks out the place, and he's one of your biggest issues.
Yeah, and I think
as well as your biggest asset, probably as well.
Yeah. Well, I think if PSG come in for him, I think we should really consider selling him.
Yeah, kick him out, drive him there. Honestly, if I was a United fan, I couldn't wait to be rid of him. Him, Bruno, Casemiro, anyone else on over 200 grand a week, gone.
That's coming from the Arsenal fan that wants Wenger out, and remember that, and now you're giving him a statue.
What are you referencing here now?
You know what I'm referencing.
Wenger's time was out, and he deserved a statue. Deserves a statue. He's got one.
I think
booed out the club anyway.
Yeah,
This has gone fucking west here. I wanted to play a game a minute ago, but go on.
We'll come back to the game in a minute, but I'm just going to say this, right? Everyone always talks about Wenger changed English football. I don't think he did. All he did, basically, was tell Paul Merson that he should probably stop getting pissed the day before games and maybe eat pasta and Ray Parlour. And then he's made out like he was some kind of super nutrition who completely changed the whole gimmick. And they just signed all the French players. They didn't change anything.
I don't know where to go with this one. This is, maybe if Wenger hadn't got Paul Merson off the booze, that the Premier League would still be where it was in the mid-90s.
I'm just saying that I think his effect on the Premier League is a little overstated for me.
You remember Sir Alex's quotes about Arsene Wenger?
Yeah, but Sir Alex doesn't say anything.
Why do you bring this? Oh.
Because Sir Alex is lauded as the greatest, yet
by
he
other
sees,
people, by the way.
But he sees Arsene Wenger's achievements as the pinnacle of English football. That's all I'm saying.
So, do you really think though? Hang on, Luke. Do you really think that Fergie thinks that Wenger's achievements are better than his?
Yeah.
Like, no. See, now you believe anything. You believe anything you want to hear.
Give the context.
That's what he actually said.
No, give the context. It was in an Arsene Wenger documentary.
It was about
and they got Fergie to say a petty comment.
I didn't get him to say it. There was no gunpoint. There was no. It didn't look like he'd just been waterboarded. He was fine.
He was straight after the hospital.
He always looks like he's just been waterboarded, to be fair.
It was straight after he's had a stroke, and they've come in hospital bed and said,
"Whoa,
what do you think of Wenger? Oh yeah, greatest achievement."
I think. What minute are we on? I think we're going to edit that one out.
So Fergie's morphine-induced stroke had led him to start complimenting Wenger after all these years. It's fine.
Finally, a clip we can use.
Yeah. Right. So to summarise the Man United segment, Luke doesn't like penalty takers. There's a train track, and Fergie had a stroke at some point.
So he praised Wenger.
Right. Listen, we're having a bit of a mess, so I've got a couple bits some pointers. I want to play a game with you both, head to head. You're both going to have 30 seconds, and people will be able to join in and let us know how they do. So you're both each going to have 30 seconds, and you can't join in. This is just, there's 30 seconds for Liam, 30 seconds for Luke. And you've got 30 seconds to name as many players from a starting 11 as you can. 11? Yeah, any. Yeah, just make them up. Yeah. No, I'm going to tell you which match.
Oh, okay. We did this at my 30th, didn't we? We were pissed at my 30th.
Yeah. So I will put some...
I trademarked this game. This is my game.
It is.
Yeah, Lean's very good at this game. Like, superb. Like, in those finals from Carling Cup days.
I haven't gone crazy difficult. Right, so we've done virtual coin toss, and Liam is going to go first. They're neither of you know what matches you're going to do yet. So that's there can't be any cheating or anything going on. So Liam, you're going to have 30 seconds to name a famous Bolton Wanderers starting 11. See, okay. I've not gone too difficult. You have the timer at hand, and this is going to be the starting 11 from a little match in 2005. Bolton Wanderers' first venture into European football. The starting 11 for Bolton Wanderers versus Lokomotiv Plovdiv. That's the famous Reebok Stadium. And your time starts now.
Okay, Jussi Jääskeläinen, Nicky Hunt, Bruno Ingotti, I don't know, Ricardo Gardner, Hidetoshi Nakata, Elhaj Diouf, Jared Bagetti, Ricardo Vazte, Kevin Davis, Nicholas Anelka, Kevin Nolan, JJ Kocher, Ivan Campo, Stelios Yarakopoulos.
Oh, you named a lot of players then. You actually got 10.
Oh, I missed the centre back out, haven't I? And if I get it, go on.
You got him in the end. So the starting lineup was Jääskeläinen, Hunt, Bruno Ngotti, Radi Jaidi.
That's who I missed, Jaidi, yeah.
Oh, did you not say it? I thought you said it.
No, I didn't say Jaidi.
Oh,
no.
Sorry, you got 9 then.
Oh.
Ricardo Gardner, Ivan Campo, Stelios, JJ Kocher, Nakata. I thought we'd catch you out. Henrik Pedersen started.
Pedersen.
Borghetti didn't start. Neither did Kevin Nolan. And Elhaj Diouf started.
Yeah.
I
thought Vazte scored. Might have been away.
Yeah, that was away.
I mean, Martin. Yes, Luke. Martin.
Yes, Luke.
What did me and you do that same night?
Me and you went watching 50 Cent that night. That was our first concert, I think.
Yeah. And Liam ditched us to watch.
No, Tom Beck ditched us. Oh, Liam.
No, it was Liam.
Liam was going to come, but Plovdiv was on. Would Tom Beck ditch us?
No, it was Liam, because he was like, Johnny Russian's playing. I want to see what Johnny
Russian was out. The Russians came to town. September the 15th, 2005.
What a day.
50 Cent was in town. Well done. 9 out of 11.
There you go, Luke. 9 to beat.
Right, Liam, reset the clock.
Okay.
Luke, this one should be a piece of piss.
Okay.
The starting 11 from the 1999 Champions League final. The Man United starting 11 from the 99 Champions League final.
Okay.
Go.
Schmeichel, Irwin, Neville, Yapstam, Ronnie Johnson, Beckham, Cole, Giggs, York, starting.
Yes.
5 seconds.
Nicky Butt.
Yeah.
And the winger.
Time up.
Your time is up. You got 10.
Oh, what?
Jesper Blomqvist.
Blomqvist.
He was a good player. But that was a fun game. We should do that again.
Well, do you want me to do one for you, Martin?
Yeah, if you like.
Okay.
Yeah, we can all have a go.
Very famous game featuring the statuesque Arsene Wenger. So,
what was he playing?
No, he was not. But he featured heavily in this game, and this game was Manchester United 8, Arsenal 2.
I was at that game.
Luke was at that game. Well, it's a pretty famous game, isn't it? So
I give you 2 nice matches, and you give me this.
Well, I think this was a big moment for Arsenal. I think this is when Arsenal realised how dog shit they were, and then started to change. But anyway, the game. So, Luke, can you start the clock in 3, 2, 1, go?
Szczesny. This is a stinker. Oxlade-Chamberlain, Robbie Van Persie, Theo Walcott. I don't think Mikel Arteta played. I think they signed him the day after. Mertesacker, Koscielny, Vermaelen, Kieran Gibbs, Danielson. Absolute stinker, this.
2, 1.
Yeah.
Would you like to know how you've done there, Martin?
I definitely got Van Persie and Walcott because
You
they
did
scored.
get Van Persie. You've got 4. So the 4
Hold
that you
on.
got were Chesney, Koscielny, Walcott, Van Persie.
Just and Mertesacker the day after. I don't even know why I said it.
It's all right. Oxlade-Chamberlain was off the bench, as was Henri Lansbury
Yeah.
and Marouane Chamakh.
Oh,
Some of the players that you missed, Martin.
That
Carl
times.
Jenkins. Go on, Luke.
Can we see if we can get the midfield?
No, don't. Let's just
Go on,
move
Luke.
on.
Go on, Luke.
Was Haleb one?
Pleb?
No.
No, we're not going to do this
Ramsey?
again.
Luke, we can't allow
Aaron Ramsey.
thinking time.
He did
Aaron
get,
Ramsey did play.
Luke got Ramsey. Well done, Luke. Go on. I'll let you get one more. Go on.
No, because I'm not putting in more tension time and music and dead
Right.
silence for Luke.
You need something like
Stupid
Benny
thoughts.
Hill music behind for Luke. No, but anyway.
No.
The players
Listen,
that
I give you 2 notable, memorable, favourited matches of your whole careers, and you give me that. That's mean.
This is one of my favourites. But anyway, so the ones that you missed, Martin, for those quizzes that are at home wondering, right back was Carl Jenkinson. The other centre back was Johan Giroud. Left back Armand Traore.
Yeah.
2 midfielders that you miss, Francois Coquelin and Thomas Rosicky.
Yeah.
And the forward that you missed, left forward, Andre Arshavin.
Yeah, it was a bad day. I was at a barbecue that day.
So was Arsenal by the looks of things.
Yeah. Thanks for that. You've ruined a perfectly good episode that started nicely with us at top of the league and ended with that. We don't have to end here. I've got a section I want to do after our little game section. Footballing pet peeves. We don't have to have a break this week. We can just crack on. So what are the little things you hate about football that we're not really ever going to get a fix for, but we can talk about it and say why we don't like it. I've got a couple, but does either of you want to start?
Go on, Luke.
I got 3.
Go on then. Just start with one and we'll go around the table.
So my first one is late kickoffs, 8 p.m. kickoffs. Ridiculous.
But you have quite a strict bedtime, so it's not great for you. It's great for me when baby's gone to bed.
It's ridiculous on a Saturday night as well now. Some of them.
Yeah, Arsenal Newcastle was 8 o'clock on a Saturday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it seemed as well that United. I think it was 5 matches in a row that United kicked off at 8 p.m. That's ridiculous. That's my kind of first one. I think that late kickoff time.
All right. Well, I've got one. Mine are less about the organising of games. I hate, and it's really pissing me off, is the celebration that players do when they score against the former team, where they do this celebration that they don't celebrate, but it's still a celebration where they run into the corner with their hands in the air like they're apologising. They're still celebrating, and the celebration I think must be called "I'm not celebrating." Like as Sterling did it recently against City, and I think Declan Rice did it against West Ham. Those are 2 recent ones, but you've seen it a million times where they run off into the corner and they're like, "Sorry, I did that." I fucking hate that.
One.
It's so annoying.
What about the Adebayor?
Luke.
What about that
Please.
Adebayor?
Please.
Do you remember that one? Liam, do you remember that Adebayor celebration?
I don't, Luke. Can you talk us through it?
Tell me about it.
Well,
what Adebayor celebration could you be talking about here?
It's when Adebayor was booed out of Arsenal club again, like a certain manager. So when he scored a sit against you, he ran the full length of the pitch and celebrated. I don't think that was subdued. Is that kind of celebration you're on about?
No, it's almost the opposite.
Actually, which do you prefer, though? Do you prefer Adebayor or the no celebration?
Nah.
Because I prefer Adebayor.
I prefer Adebayor.
Yeah.
I prefer Adebayor's, yeah. I'd rather players just go for it against the former club than this non-celebrating shit. Adebayor wasn't booed out the club. He was booed when he got out the club. Why'd you have to be a shithouse? Why can't you just be like a regular man person instead of just being a little puppet under Liam's like mandible?
I'm definitely under Liam. Liam's under my fucking strings.
Liam's under me. Right. You two. You can carry this on a different podcast. Liam, what's your pet peeve? What have you got? What really irks you about modern day football?
Here we go. United.
Man United. Everything red.
I'd say first tactical fouls. Can't stand it. Worst part of the game. Like, you know, obviously everyone talks about the great influence that Pep's had on the English game. That's the worst thing. Like, I cannot stand it. Tactical fouling.
Pep thing. This has been going on for years.
And that transition when they lose the ball and the immediate little Bernardo Silva foul straight away, like, can't stand it. Ruined football. Like, yeah, tactical fouling. That's why I'm so for the blue card, because it should be completely punished. If not by death, then blue card will do.
I'd rather someone be assassinated on the spot than be shown a blue card and have to live with that humiliation.
Also, with a blue card, why couldn't it just been? Is it a colour blindness thing? Why couldn't it have been orange? Like, why did they have to make it? I feel like making it blue was half the reason no one wanted it. Because people were just like, why blue? Like, and just if it was like the orange card, everyone would have been like, all right, yeah, we've wanted that for years. But then they made it blue, and everyone's like, why are you having a blue card?
Should hold up cards of emojis, and it's just a sad face. Just
Liam, I got a question for you.
I'm sure it's really informative and intuitive. So go ahead, Luke.
It's a little anecdote question. Do you remember when we used to play football and there was a certain game and we were both running back and the attacker was basically running through and you kind of took him clear out? Would that, but you obviously I was ahead of you, so it wasn't a red card. Would that be blue card or would that be?
I'd be surprised if we were running side by side and you got ahead of me, first of all. So I don't remember this story.
Oh.
I was the pace over 10 yards.
Over 10 yards.
I don't know. I wasn't that kind of player, so it's hard to really think about that. But yeah,
it's going to be hard for people to start taking you seriously, Liam, soon. If you just keep lying, people know you as well.
Yes, I can't remember which foul it was. There was a few of them, but if they threw on goal with one man covering it, thinking that I'll take the yellow kind of foul, then yeah, that is the kind of foul that should get a blue card. Absolutely, yeah.
Who was the ref? Was it
probably Mike Bingham.
Yeah. It was Mike Bingham, so you know exactly what I'm about.
Was you two played in some POV league that I didn't play.
Was that a rugby tackle one, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the record, Liam and Luke played in some POV league that I was well in ahead of. My other pet peeve is shit corners. I am losing the will to live with players like Gabriel Martinelli who can't take a fucking corner to save his life.
Please
winds
tell
me up.
You've seen the Swansea corner from yesterday.
Yeah, we kicked so yeah. Honestly, shit corners is just it should be a fine on the spot. I hope clubs have it set up where it's like £5,000 every time you hit the front man.
Yeah, but then you don't have the Aspas moment, which is I think one of my favourite ever football moments.
Describe it to me. I don't know what you mean.
What, Aspas's corner? So this is in the Gerrard slip. Not the Gerrard slip game. It was the one before when Liverpool played City, wasn't it? When they beat them. Or was it the Liverpool-Chelsea game when they were chasing after the Gerrard slip? I think it might have been a Gerrard slip game. And Liverpool were piling on the pressure all over Chelsea. Gerrard beating heart of the team, trying to make things right. And Liverpool win a corner in like the 91st minute or something. Aspas sprints over and Martin Tyler really pumps this moment up. Going, everything and Aspas just passes it straight to Chelsea. Like, I can't believe he got all this moment. Like,
it was on the floor. Do you not remember? It was on the edge of the box. He passed it literally the edge of the box.
Direct to him, and even that's I went, oh, like just the collective. Even like Chelsea fans were probably groaning. It was that deflating of a moment. Like, but yeah,
shit corners. In fact, shit dead balls in general. Not shooting ones because they're harder, but most dead balls should be more than honestly. I'd just haul players off if they can't hit. They can't hit a decent corner. I don't know what else they're paid to do.
But
it's so
Arsenal are good at it though, aren't they?
We're good at set pieces, yeah, but Martinelli's off them. I had to put Declan Rice on him.
yeah, they've got a set piece coach, a super set piece coach.
Well, we're top of that table as well. There's other tables, but Luke, have you got any more pet peeves?
Yeah, I got two more.
So you can name them from your Sunday league days if you want. If you want to, really alienate yourself from the podcast and not talk about yourself a bit more.
So I'll do both of them. So the first one's transfer news mid-season. Like when you put in like we're linked to £100 million player and it's been signed off, and there's no kind of
in October.
There's no evidence. It's just like we're linked £100 player, done deal. I hate that.
Is this Joao Neves that you're talking about by any chance?
Yeah, that's a pet. I really hate that transfer news mid-season, and the final one, and Liam will like this, is Gary Neville on everything.
Yeah.
Plus when he pops up on Dragon's Den as well, I'm like, mate, I can't get fucking away from this guy.
Just see him walking around. When I'm working in Manchester, just see him walking around like proper little busy. Yeah.
Scoping out new buildings. Liam, have you got any more?
Yeah, I've got a few. Substitutions after the 85th minute. Just in any context, like even if you're like chasing the game, like just stupid. Like just it's just a waste of everyone's time. No one's ever come on after the 85th minute and changed the game.
No one ever. That's a bold statement. But now with extra time being like 8 and 9 minutes, maybe after 90 minutes, I'd probably outlaw that.
All right, yeah, get rid of that.
Well, you see, we fixed something.
There you go. And what else?
Can I go before you go? I've got one.
No, that's rude.
I'm gonna go. No. While you're thinking, it's on the tip of my tongue and I can't hold it. Have you seen the fake advertisements that how advertising is different depending on where you're watching the game? Absolutely.
Behind Pep, it stresses me out, that one, but the Pep's news conference one, the green wall that they use at City.
Yeah.
It moves slightly while he's talking. It drives me nuts.
There's that, but in game, I don't know if you watched many La Liga games recently. But
yeah.
I noticed it at the Bernabeu. I was watching a game and Jude Bellingham had just scored. And
they use green screen, don't they?
Yeah, they use green screen on all the advertising boards. So Luke's looking super confused right now for anyone not in this conversation and just listening. But they have I don't know if all the screens are, the electronic advertising boards.
I noticed this in
I don't know they're off, but they're different in every depending on what country you're watching the match.
Yeah, I noticed this in COVID when La Liga was on during COVID. I noticed it because they had instead of like the blow up fans that we had in England, they put massive green screens on to make it like crowd was there. And then as COVID went on, just more and more adverts started going up instead of fake crowd in La Liga. So they kind of they love that idea now. So it's all of it's green screen.
They have one that's like at the side of the goal, on the grass at the side of the goal. And it's meant to look like it's sprayed on the floor, but it's also 3D. So it's like it looks like it's propped up. That's not even there.
No.
They put that in live, because at the goal that I was referencing, Jude Bellingham had scored and he'd slid into that area. And then when the camera zoomed...
He turned into a Skybet advert.
Yeah. Half of him was Emirates. And it's mad. So it's just distracting because they obviously can't make it consistent enough. It's very good technology, but it's just annoying. Just leave it. Just film the thing. Stop trying to plug us with shit. Who's bought anything that they've watched on telly that they've seen on the advertising boards of a stadium?
Have you noticed on the City game, They have this bright Chinese colour.
That double thing.
It's the double one. Like that. Yeah. I think that's clever the way they've done that, because then you see people walking in the middle of it. It's obviously like, it's too layered, isn't it? But
it's already hard enough to watch City, really, when they're at home. And then you just basically, I end up just watching the advert for the whole, because the game's so fucking boring as well. Even though I'm being told how good it is all the time. Like, yeah, I've seen it now. But then, I'm just watching this fucking screen lighting up with me with these companies that may or may not exist in the Middle East. And, so yeah, I can't stand watching that massive City one. It's like being in the IMAX.
By the way, while we're talking about City, me and Scott had a chat last week, and I referenced that Kevin De Bruyne is the best midfielder in the Premier League ever, and I wanted your opinions on it. So there's always been that chat about, Gerrard versus Lampard versus Scholes, who's the best. It's probably because they're English, but, they're also three of the best midfielders ever in the Premier League. But I put Kevin De Bruyne above him. I don't know what you two think. I don't know if you agree with that. I also put, Roy Keane and Vieira in that list. But still, I think De Bruyne is the best. So I'd want to know where you'd rank him in terms of Premier League greats, especially if we're just going at midfielders.
I'll go first. So ability-wise, I think De Bruyne is the best. But I wouldn't say... I'd say Keane's the best midfielder we've had in the Premier League.
Why? Oh, based on what?
Based on the impact, and you can't forget he was a really, really good player.
Yeah,
really good.
You've just said De Bruyne was better in terms of ability.
Yeah, ability-wise, yeah. I don't think anyone really matches him. Ability-wise.
Well, that's more what I'm talking about, because I think you could argue that. Well, you can't argue. Lampard scored more than all of them.
There is one, and he's a one-season wonder, but he was immense, and that was Yaya Toure.
Yeah, he's bottom of that list. Didn't do it long enough. He's one season.
He's bottom of all midfielders.
No, this list that we're talking about, if you added him in, he comes in at the bottom.
What was it, 20 goals and 20 odd assists in a season?
Yeah.
For a centre mid.
It's a stunning season, but yeah, the fact that it just wasn't consistent enough for that.
Can De Bruyne do anything that Gerrard couldn't do?
Yeah, everything he does it better. Everything that Gerrard can do, De Bruyne can do it better.
No, I disagree.
In my opinion.
I agree with Luke. I think Keane's the best. But then I look at Gerrard next to De Bruyne. I think that's a really good comparison. Both have the same weird hair. And
Great comparison.
This is the kind of knowledge you get from the Fixing Football podcast. But I think Gerrard had more to his game in terms of the amount of pitch he could cover, his pace, his tackling. He can drive the team. And I tell you what, I don't think in a tight game that anyone would have taken Gerrard off after 60 minutes yesterday, do you?
No, it's a good point. And I get what you're saying, but it's very specific, seeing as though De Bruyne has been injured for 5 months. He's only just really coming back. I just think, for me, I think anything that all of them do, De Bruyne is better at. And you can only argue that in terms of maybe not off the pitch, but the leadership style that all of them probably had in different ways, that others were better than him. But I don't think, for me, I just think he's head and shoulders above them all.
Head and shoulders above?
Yeah. It's a hair reference, Liam.
Does Rodri not even come into...
No. Rodri's fantastic, but he's not in this he's not in this group. He's not dynamic enough to be in this conversation.
Szoboszlai absolutely bossed Rodri yesterday. It's all over him like a rash.
I've never seen Rodri give the ball away as much as what he did yesterday.
Because he's under pressure. For the first time ever, a team actually thought, we can beat these. And that's all it was. And it's mad how football, for all the science and all the weird stuff that everyone looks at and all these things that Pep tries to do to make it as boring as possible, if a team believes, then they can beat anyone. Because that Liverpool team on paper, I know Scott likes to pretend that it's still like Milan in the early 80s, but it's not it's not a brilliant team, that Liverpool team, on paper. It's just
No.
every one of them to a man, and Klopp, and every fan in there went there yesterday thinking, we're going to beat City. Like, and that is literally what it came down to. Even when they went 1-0 down, everyone in that stadium thought, we'll beat these. And because of that, it really put City under the pressure, and they're not used to being there. And it just makes you think, like, why can't everyone do that?
So I actually thought the other week when Haaland got 5, like Luton were coming back into it at one point, and it was just because they believed a little bit. I think it got back to 3-2 at one point, and it was like, shit. But we digress. So let's just round that up, as you both agree with me that De Bruyne is the best, and I'm right again. So Liam, what was your last pet peeve that we was going to get to chat about?
I should start writing things down because I can't remember now. But
Good idea, that.
Yeah, it is. I as well probably linked with the last one, but just time wasting in general. I just can't stand it. Like, it just does my head in. Like, it's just frustrating to watch. Even like games I'm not even that interested in. Just watching people run the clock down. I'm just like, what am I doing in my life? Like, when I'm watching someone just literally like take 10 hours over a goal kick.
Yeah, but
like,
they're just trying to crack down on that more now.
Have you noticed though, like beginning of the season, he was giving yellow cards in and everywhere for goalkeepers spend, was it 6 seconds? And now they're just a bit more wave them on. They're not as kind of stringent with it.
But that happens with all rules, doesn't it? They start off with a bit of a initiative at first, and then the referees are like, I can't be asked.
Yeah, then Arsenal start thinking everything's against them and asking to hear the clips and all that. We need to demand the clips, and then
that wasn't us.
Just using an example.
That wasn't us. It's a wrong example. Listen, again, you've built up quite a good reputation on this podcast, and me and Luke know you're lying, and now you've just lied because you can't not lie. So how is anyone ever going to know when you're telling the truth and your point is actually genuine?
Yeah,
well,
Liam.
Yeah, well, you know.
You can say I apologise and we'll move on.
Yeah, Liam.
I'm not apologising.
I ain't fucking leaving.
I've got another one, Martin. I've just thought about.
Let's wrap it up.
And it stems from last week's episode.
Oh.
The one with me and Scott?
The one with you and Scott.
Oh, we were talking about this earlier, weren't we, Luke? Go on, tell him.
Liam just lied again.
I think your and Scott's views were ridiculous on Champions League last week. You've downplayed Champions League like it's some Carling Cup, calling AC Milan, they're not that great anymore. Juve, they're not that great.
AC Milan aren't great.
Yeah, but it's still AC Milan.
I'm like, you're still Manchester United. You're not great.
And the clue is in the name, Champions League. It's the best teams in Europe, and you're saying Premier League is the be-all and end-all.
Yeah, I do believe that. But that's not a footballing pet peeve, is it? That's just you're annoyed about an episode of a very, very good podcast from last week.
Would you like your views as well, Liam?
I don't. The Champions League is the most important competition in the world.
You know what I thought about for the first time today? I had a weird thought, but the Champions League isn't the best team from that season. You have to be the best team for 2 seasons in a row to be.
It's interesting. Was this because you were thinking about Liverpool and Leverkusen? Like, because
no.
They're not in it. It's just mental, in it. Like, you've got these two absolute ripping things up domestically, and neither of them are in the Champions League.
I was just thinking about it as merit, and you have to win your league or come very close to winning it, and then beat all the other best teams in Europe the season after with potentially a completely different team. It's mental, that, isn't it? I never really thought about it. It's like a 2-season job.
Yeah, it's a bit like, like Ramsdale got to like.
Oh yeah, we forgot about Ramsdale,
league, and then he never got to play in the Champions League. A bit like
that. He did. Look, you're lying again. Do you know any facts, or I don't know if you come into these podcasts doing any research, or it's just flapping opinion. But he has played in the Champions League.
Right. Well, one more thing before we go. I'm going to put this on the podcast, but I warned you in the group yesterday because obviously we're going to spend a lot of time doing our teams and doing all our preparation. For the credibility of the podcast, mine, you cannot put Ramsdale in your England team or else no one's going to take us seriously. So just accept that now and don't waste everyone's time. Or we can have the debate now so we don't have to have it next week.
We could talk about Ramsdale now and then we'll close it up.
Should he be in the England team, mine?
No.
Okay, right. Well, then we don't need to.
He's going to be in mine though, just for the clip. Oh, I don't know who's better than him, and it doesn't matter. I'm going to tell you my 3 England goalkeepers right now if you want, and then we can go off that. And then next week we have a big England special coming.
Yeah, go on. I'll have your England 3 goalkeepers, mine.
Pickford, Ramsdale, Trafford. That's what I'm going with, and you can deal with that in the WhatsApp group however you want.
Do you even watch football, man?
I do.
Neil, Mike, do you want to should we touch on the Ramsdale kind of situation?
Yeah, go on.
Do you think that performance was warranting him coming back number 1, or that's it for Rick? Does he need to leave the club? Is he just going to be number 2 now?
Mistake aside, it was a good performance from him. But that's the thing when you're a goalkeeper, that mistake is generally massive.
I reckon as well, by the way. After the game's done, I reckon Arteta's buzzing with that mistake. Like, knowing that it didn't cost you any points, I think internally, I reckon he's buzzing because it almost justifies him, yeah. And he never has to talk about it again. He's almost like he'll be buzzing that Ramsdale fucked up, and he'll be laughing at his dad.
I get that. Look, I've been very public. I like Ramsdale. I think the mistake is just a bit of rust, but that's what you get when you're not playing. So it is what it is. We got away with it.
What happens when a manager destroys your confidence for no reason?
Yeah. Destroying. You can't buy someone who's better than you. Look, we've been proven right. David Raya's got the most clean sheets in the league. He's got the most crosses collected. It's David Raya. He's barely put a foot wrong.
And you're going to make up another stat, or you're just going to go?
No, they're all facts, Liam. I come onto this podcast well prepared, unlike yourself with your heinous lies. But yeah, that's what I think. Look, it's just rust, and it's unfortunate because he's very well liked, but it just is what it is.
He leaves in the summer though, doesn't he?
Yeah, definitely. It was interesting actually at the end of the time Thomas Frank spent talking to him. That might be a move that happens. Brentford's keeper's pretty arse, I think. Is it Flecken?
Flecken, yeah.
Yeah, I could see that move happening. And that would be a really good buy for Brentford. So, as much as you want to pull your face, Luke, that is not good audio content. So I think we'll wrap it up there. Boys, thank you very much. Thanks for asking about my holiday. Well, I asked about your 2 weeks. That was nice of you. But we'll do that again next time.
Where did you go?
Sorry, we've run out of time. Thanks very much, everyone, for listening. You can catch all our episodes and clips and stuff on www.fixingfootballpodcast.com. And you can see our links there. Say bye, boys.
Ta-ra.
Bye, boys.